Hey, everybody, thanks for joining me for what I think is going to be another exciting podcast discussion with another smart hustler and entrepreneur. And it's going to be great, all talking about Etsy and how you can build a great business with a little bit of money, debt-free, and more and more and more. My name is Ramon Ray, founder of Smart Hustle Media, and you can check out smarthustle.com and sign up for all things about the hustle of growing your business. Irina, welcome. Thanks for joining us. I would say your whole name, but we just said offline. I had some tongue twisters, so I might as well let you say your full name the way it should be. Welcome, and I'm so glad that you took the time to join me today.
Thank you so much, Raymond. I'm so glad to be here, and my name is Irina Dovganetskiy.
I love it. Awesome. And I'm Ramon Ray. Love it. So tell me, and the name of the company is is Simplicity or With Simplicity?
So the name is With Simplicity.
Got it.
And
Okay.
the name kind of came around, and that's kind of ties back to Etsy. Etsy
Yep.
lets you only do one-word names. So we put it together and became With Simplicity.
I love it. So the nutshell of this story, some things I want to learn from you. It's my understanding that with $200, you started your business. It's not just a makeup company, but it's a company that's safe. And I want you to talk about those things. And your business is growing. I think that's the essence of this story. We want to hear from you. Maybe talk about some of the challenges you faced in growing it, where you're at today, and then the secret plans of world domination, where you're going that we can learn from you too.
Sounds good. Well,
Good.
Well,
So,
let me
Irina, tell us how you
dive
started.
right in. So it started out as a hobby. If you talked to me 5 years ago, I would not see where we're at. It was going to be something out of my kitchen to keep me busy while I was raising my 3 kids.
Uh-huh.
I decided I always loved cooking, and making cosmetics is actually a lot of like cooking and
Right.
which is their recipes. And I decided to play with some of the creams and kind of making it safe. I had a baby at that time when I started playing with it.
Mm-hmm.
He was born, and I think the company was officially registered when he was a year old. So I had like that 1 year that I was playing with things and testing things out on myself. I was really paranoid about putting chemicals on his body and really wanted to keep our house toxic free.
And let me have you pause there, Irina, for 1 second. Is this really an issue? I know it's obvious it is. There's many other companies that are I'll call it clean cosmetics, but you can correct me the right wording. But since, again, I've never had kids that have issues. I'm a dad, so different mindset. But can you just briefly talk about this aspect of moms and dads wanting better cleaning products, cosmetic product, other things? Educate us who don't know about that. Educate us about that a bit, if you don't mind. Sorry to take you off track, but
let me give you just one fact. European Union and Europe, there's about 1,500 products and chemicals that are banned from, or ingredients that are in the cosmetics.
Got it.
It's about 500. United States, I think we're up to 11 as of a couple Septembers ago.
Got it.
Gives you a perspective of things that could go into cosmetics, and the regulations haven't changed since like 70s of what we put in it. So we're pretty much walking and testing the products on our kids and on ourselves. And as a mom, like that was not gonna.
I understand. No, thank you. And that's why I would like to be educated, about. So continue on. So you were there and there. You were just to put you back on track, making the products. You had a baby, year old. Continue.
I mean, I started just making one lip balm. My husband had an issue with a lip, and I kind of enjoyed it. And I made this lip balm, and I passed it to my friends, and I gave it to just family and to test it out, see if they liked it. They did like it. They came back to see if they could get more of it. And at that point, I wasn't even thinking about selling it. It was just a fun little thing that I've done. And then when they did come back and they did like it, I was like, you know what, let me try selling it. It was around Christmas time, let me see if I could sell some of it. So I'm like, okay, talk to the hubby, can I, get $200? I just want to start this little hobby and try to see what it,
Which is not going to go anywhere, just for fun, just for this Christmas.
Yeah.
Just
for fun, because I am a type A personality, so I can't sit home.
I got you.
Do anything. I worked until I had my 3rd baby.
Sure.
Full time, raised the other 2 kids. So needed something to do after all the closets are clean. What's there to do? So he's like, whatever. So I went out and I bought just a handful of ingredients that I got some essential oils, got containers, and mixed it up, and I started selling it. And that first investment was $200. And going from a full-time to being a stay-at-home mom, like our income was cut in half. So
Yeah.
I wasn't going to go and kind of tap into that. We were kind of tight on the budget with having a baby and all of that. So for me, it was like, okay, like, well, I made these lip balms. I started selling them. So I sold them, and the profit that I made, I put in like making more. So like for me, the goal was like not to tap, and my husband would not be a fan of that. Keep on buying, these raw ingredients and all the cutesy little things that go with it. So I decided to go full on. I think January of 2015. One day I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna go register it and I'm just gonna pursue it. I have nothing else to do, just stay at home mom, and let's see where it goes. I wanted to try just the local markets and kind of to friends. So I registered the company and I started doing a little bit of craft shows.
And help me understand, clarify, Irina, did you have some business experience to get to this journey? Did you have to read? Because that's another common problem people starting out have. There's some who already know it. Maybe they've been in corporate America, they get it. Did you research, or did you just have people around you? So my question, how did you know the business end of running a business? How did you learn that?
Honestly, I did not know anything.
Okay.
Never had a business. So what I did, I walked to our city hall January 12th, 2015. I asked them what I need to do. They're like, well, first of all, you have to get zoning and they kind of zoned my house. Then you have to have a business license. Then they had nowhere to put me under category. So they had to go through their little codes. Then I kind of went from city hall and let them guide me of what I needed. Because one thing, especially selling cosmetics, I just wanted to make sure I had all my ducks in a row with people.
Yes.
I didn't want to get into lots of trouble. And I feel like with starting a business now, it might be a little bit easier, even with getting like insurance. I just had
For sure.
So just because people didn't really understand the whole like small business and like, what are we exactly insuring? What are you doing? So I feel like right now, even like 5 years from that day, it's a lot clear, but definitely had to just ask a lot of questions. It was
smart, good. So it seems like mindset. I was on a call yesterday with a coach, and I think part of it is what makes us special. We're not special to some people, but what makes us special, mindset. But please continue. So you went to City Hall, got it registered, and continue on the journey.
Registered. So I'm like, okay, like I got this business license. I got a few lip balms. The lady at the City Hall purchased the lip balm. So I'm like, all right, I made a first like official sale. And I started doing like a little crafts. I went to a local, it's like a health store, and asked them if I could set up a little table on Saturday. They're like, sure, come on over. And it was like February. We'll let you set up a little table here. And I had lip balms. And I think that week I made like bath bombs and then like a little lotion bar. So I have at least 3 products to show. So it's not just a table.
Yes. You knew that much. You don't want to be there with one thing on the table.
Buy my lip balm. So I went and did a setup and I made a few $100s. And I'm like, wow, people were trying it. They were buying it. And I think the lady at the store too, the owner, is like, wow, you did so good. You like talk to people, and I do like to talk. So it was very chatty. And they're like, oh, if you want to come and do, more setups, come on. And they're like, we'll take some of your lip balms and we'll put it in the store and sell it for you. So like, it was a good little start. And then I was still kind of a little bit nervous about putting my products like out there. I'm like, okay, like, it's something you make, your friends like it, your mom like it, you like it, but to put it out there, it definitely was a little bit nerve-wracking.
Of course.
I've talked to a friend who had an Etsy shop. She was selling cute bows and stuff, and I think she encouraged me. She's like, oh, just try it. You have nothing to lose. I'm not tech savvy, so Etsy was such a good way to start. You don't need to have any experience. It's dummy proof. Like, put in your name.
Yep.
With this. Put your description, put a good picture, and you're selling it on Etsy. And again, starting with $200, I didn't have to invest anything. You don't pay Etsy anything until you sell, and then they take like 20 cents, I think, per sale.
Sure.
So it was not a huge overhead. So I'm like, okay, well, let me try it and kind of keep it on down low and kind of see where it goes. So I posted 7 lip balms, called my mom and my sisters. Okay, my Etsy store is live. Can you go buy?
And give me a good review, please.
Give me a good review, because I think a lot of it is algorithms just to kind of get some, not completely brand new. I had 7 different flavors of lip balms that I started out with. And that's how it kind of started. I mean, it definitely I didn't have a great expectation. It was just going to be something that would support my hobby. The first year was we started getting a little bit of orders, but a lot of it was local markets that I've done too, and just around holiday and summertime and fall time was really good. And that's when I'm like, you know what? Like, I could see myself doing this. Like, process, I've learned a lot in that year, just your process and the business side of it, and like what's more efficient way of making the lip balm, how do you package it, and just kind of do a lot of reading. There was a lot of like 16 hours on your phone or computer just staring at the screen reading all the rules and all the FDAs. Yep, that's about what it was.
Listen, people who say, I can do it, where's it at? Between Google or Bing and reading, you can't. By the way, have you ever come across Irina Score at all?
Score, no.
Okay, Score, the free government consulting service. I wasn't sure if they played a role in that as well. But
I did not, but I'm going to check that out.
And then tell us now, Etsy, is Etsy one platform of many that you're on, or besides word of mouth, is that your e-commerce store? In essence, is that your, if anybody wants to buy it, does it all go through Etsy, or is that one of a few different channels?
So we've started with just Etsy because, like I said, I was not tech savvy.
Right.
It's going to be a hobby. And for the longest time, we were solely on Etsy, and we kind of grew sales and our reviews. But as the brand grows, and as being in the beauty industry and being a retail store, we did need a little bit more. As in, like, we wanted to add loyalty program, we wanted to do affiliates, and something that I feel like Etsy will bring on eventually, but they don't have it at this time.
Sure.
We did have to move to Shopify, but we still keep our stuff on Etsy.
Sure.
All of our loyal customers and everybody kind of followed us to their site. Now they could create an account, they could earn points and kind of be more interactive with us. But we're still on Etsy.
No, and it depends. Listen,
pay anything to them,
It has to be on multiple platforms. I mean, I was just curious how the journey is, and going back. And so, tell us today, what are some of the keys to your success? Help me understand. From that lady selling on the corner, making it her home, to today, what do you, if you had to think, I'm sure there's a lot of failure, risk, and problems and issues and mistakes, but
for sure.
What are 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 things that you're saying, Ramon, here's why we've been successful? Tell me about that.
So with that, I feel like I'm a person who takes risk, but it's a calculated risk. So, and this is how I kind of look at it. Like, when I knew in the markets how much I made that one year, and that one year was very, very low, but I'm like, I wanted to try a little storefront because I went into an issue with local people. They're like, oh, we like your product, but we could never find it. Or I'm like, well, we have an Etsy shop, or we could buy it online. But for some reason in the beginning, I really had a disconnect with local people going online and buying. They kind of expected me to be somewhere.
Sure.
And I've heard it multiple times, and I'm like, okay, I want to be somewhere. So I did actually go in and start selling out of the boutique, and they just kind of carried my products. But again, the issue was nobody walks into a store thinking they need all new makeup and they need all new skincare. The products, even though I thought I had great packaging and kind of tried to say what they were on the packaging, the products did not talk to the customer. And you needed a salesperson, somebody who was educated, and somebody, if you come across that we could tell you why you need the switch, why are your cosmetics that you have now or skincare that you have is not effective, or how it could harm you in the long way. So we needed a salesperson. Like, the products did not sell. I mean, it was sold here and there, but it wasn't like a business. It was just kind of like, great, they're there.
Right.
So that's when I'm like, okay, we need a little storefront. I need to be out there and selling and educating people why they need new skincare and new makeup. So I knew I wanted, like, I could afford at that time, maybe like a small store space. And I really wanted to be in boutique. I didn't see our brand in like mall or a little kiosk. It needed to be something that's local. I needed somebody that's going to be passionate about it. And I wanted to be like I live in a super small town, but it's in our downtown area. So and started looking for little spaces. Couldn't find one. So I'm like, well, maybe I could share a space with somebody. Also, it's kind of hard to find in a small city in the right location.
Right.
So I came up with this awesome, great idea that my husband thought I was crazy for. But I'm like, we had a whole bunch of food trucks in our area. And I'm like, to buy a Airstream, which is a camper, and then I could park it. I don't want to travel with it because I'm going to assemble, reassemble. I want it to be permanently parked, but we use it as a space to sell out of. Besides, he's like, okay, who's crazy enough to let you park this in downtown? I mean, our downtown isn't big. I'm like, I'll go find that crazy person.
I love your
I
hustle. I feel like I'm not quite crying, but I love it. And I know what you mean by crazy person because I'm crazy too. This is what you have. You have to take some risk. Reasonable, I think different word you use, but reasonable or what's the word you used?
calculated.
Calculated risk. I'm the same way. And then you have to find crazy people. I mean, listen, you have to. I hear you. You're speaking my language.
So I took my baby on a stroll. I took a couple of my products, made it in a little gifty, and I went to a restaurant that I knew that owned a parking lot.
Yes.
Excellent location. So I'm like, let me just go see. I don't know the owner. I walked in, asked for her, sat down, and she was such a sweet. I mean, if she didn't believe in me or my products, then like this, I would not be here today.
Yes.
So for this lady, she went, "What's an Airstream?" I'm like, "Oh, that's." So I googled the Airstream, showed what I kind of envisioned, what I kind of want to do, and she's like, "All right, well, I could rent it to you. Do you have the Airstream?" I'm like, "No, I'll have to go buy it." But I'm like,
I love it.
"I want to do," and she's like, "Sure." And this was like in May, so after she told me, she's like, "Once you buy it," and I don't know if she thought it was for real. She's like, "Once you buy it, come back. We kind of will talk." I kind of talked a little bit of numbers, so I know like how much rent she would want,
Right.
parking spaces that I was gonna take up, and she's like, "Come back and kind of once you have the Airstream, and like we'll go from there." So I'm like, went to my hubby, and I'm like, "Okay, I found a spot. Can we buy an Airstream?" So he's like, "Okay, sure." I mean, and again, I didn't want to put ourselves in any jeopardy or, stay debt free. At that point, we had a home and we had a little bit of equity. So I went and got a little bit of equity to purchase the Airstream and to renovate it. Because I knew with how much I made that year that I will cut even and be able to pay it off.
Right.
Just in 1 year being there without any sales being increased. So we found the Airstream in North Carolina. We drove out there, got it. Took us a few months to renovate it, and we had a storefront. And again,
I love it. So it stays there. You don't drive it back and forth home. It stays there on her property, and somebody from your team goes there, opens it up like they would any other store, and starts selling.
We don't have it now, but that was where we started. Yeah.
Got it. Love it. And do you have and by the way, do you have any storefront now, or you just stay online?
Yep. Oh, no, we have a 2,700 square foot storefront.
Nice. From Airstream to storefront. And it seems like one thing that you're very good at, Irina, is numbers. So that's a weakness of mine. Tell me about that, just the aspect of debt-free, knowing your numbers, anything that you've learned, and what can we learn from aspect of profit and loss and pricing? I know it's a big question. I'm throwing a lot at you, but just rant with me. Talk about all those things, pricing and numbers and cash flow and debt.
Mm-hmm. I knew with pricing, I wanted to be in other stores and I wanted to be in boutiques. So I wanted to make sure we price things accordingly that I could still be able, to sell direct to consumer, but also be in other stores. So we have a little bit of margin in that. And with numbers, I said, and with risk, I kind of look at it as in like, okay, even like say advertising, like Google advertising, Instagram advertising, Mary does all of that. But our strategy is, okay, if we're going to spend $100, and I know a lot of people say, and maybe that if you break even or you get what you got out of it, like it performed well. For us, our formula is times 4. If we did not make $400, that was not a great ad, or it was not a good investment. I'm like, yes, we could cut even, but I'm not going to be sustainable for a long run to cut even, and I'm not going to be able to pay my employees with cutting even.
Yes.
So and obviously there's little things that we've tried that didn't work, but I just don't go in below hundreds of dollars on something that may or may not work. And one of the good examples, we had a great opportunity, and I'm not sure if I'll regret it later, or maybe we'll come back to the opportunity to work with a celebrity. And we worked for a couple of months on this project, and when it came down, the investment would have been so big that I wasn't willing, so I had to deny it. I don't know if it feels right now because
I understand.
I
But I like how
always,
you're saying that it was so big, it was so huge that it did. You felt maybe you would lose control. It wasn't for you. It's interesting. Most people say it's too little. We need
honestly,
more. But you're
it was
saying,
financially.
yeah,
Financially, I knew I could get the money back, but I wasn't sure, like, is this good? And the way I look at it, okay, if I'm going to invest this money and I lose 100% of it, will this hurt our business?
I
Like,
love it.
how back will we set? Like, can I live with it? And for us, that would have hurt us a lot and put us a lot back, and I would be in debt. So, like, maybe it's just not the right time. Kind of put it on ice. It might have been huge opportunity, but I'm not ready for that risk.
So what I'm hearing you say for those listening,
Mhm.
Irina will cut you a check for $100,000 if you promise her she will earn back 400K. Am I hearing right?
Yep. So if out there anybody wants that, please find us.
I like that. No, that's good.
You know what I mean. And
I know exactly what you mean.
Debt free, like that's something. From Airstream, we were in Airstream for 1 year, and we went kind of blew up a little bit local, and we had great sales, and great sales wasn't, it was enough to cover. I had 2 employees at that time, and this building became available, and I knew with the income that I had and the orders that we've been getting in Airstream that I could afford this building without even any growth. So that's when we made the leap and go ahead and got a nice building. We have production, we have offices all under one roof. We're still in the heart of downtown. And we grew a lot since moving from Airstream, but I knew, like, I wasn't going to have sleepless nights. Like, where is the money coming from? Yeah, we don't have a lot of working capital even now. I mean, we have enough, but it's not like a huge amount of working capital. But I could always go borrow money.
Right. And by choice, meaning if you wanted to roll out to all the Macy's in the world and you needed $1 million, you'd go get a loan, be in debt $1 million. But you've chosen to grow that way, meaning because that's how what we hear on Shark Tank and otherwise. I need an investor who has $1 million or 500,000. It's a choice. Yeah. Am I correct?
Yes, for sure. If I wanted to go and get, $1 million, I could probably find it somehow, but it's just not where we're at, and that's not what I want. And I just want to go to bed at peace at night, and I just people money.
I love it. And let's talk briefly about your marketing. I know you have a team member, Miriam?
Mary.
Mary, who does the marketing. Let's talk about that just a bit. What kind of marketing works today? Are you spending money on digital advertising? Is it word of mouth? I know you have your store. Are you selling direct, or is it? Talk a little bit about just what works.
We have multiple channels. So right now we do sell online, and that's where we've started, and have a great online presence. We do have a retail store where we sell. We also have over 40 other stores nationwide that carry our products. So we kind of have multiple channels where we sell, and Mary does a lot of it is Instagram and Facebook. We do obviously Google AdWords and work on Google, but a lot of sales come from the social media. Being in the beauty industry, you do need the social media and still trying to educate people on why make the switch and show that even if it's natural, you could still go bolder looks and just kind of educate people. But we do a multiple marketing. So how that came, marketing person was probably the last person we hired, as in like, oops. Hold on.
Because you were doing that, I guess, a lot of it.
Hold on, I'm so sorry.
No problem.
And you disappeared.
No, I hear you. Okay. But because you were doing the marketing quite a bit, is that right?
I did the marketing, but I was not posting every day. If I post 1 or 2 posts a week, it was great. But I think just marketing companies market themselves so good. I went in and hired a marketing company, and after kind of having working with them a little bit, I realized that I could do it in-house for a lot cheaper. So I did bring in Mary, and she's a full-time employee. And
somebody who has your heart, who's really excited about it, not just what's your customer service number,
Yeah, that's exactly. So kind of Mary handles all of that, and she does some of the customer service. And if you have any questions or want to do a live chat, Mary will be the one.
I'm sure she would. And the last question, I'd love to know anything I didn't ask you, but let's talk a little bit about leadership. I know in my own business, Irina, it's a small business, and I'm growing it. I've been focused in the last year how I can be a better leader, other things. I'm curious, core values, corporate culture, who you're hiring. What stage are you in business where Irina is like, I need to focus on the growth and have a team to do it? Or are you still day-to-day doing a few day-to-day things? Where are you at in your business, and what do you see yourself in 2 to 3 years as a leader?
Right now, as a leader here, I think I'm more just manage multiple departments. Kind of, we have the production team, we have shipping, we have marketing, and we have the sales.
Okay.
I don't really do much day-to-day work, but kind of oversee, but I kind of do oversee all departments because I do like things certain ways.
Sure.
So I micromanage, and I hate babysitting, and that's one thing you're going to hear in an interview, that I don't babysit. Like, here's what's expected, and you're big enough to go and figure that out. And for production, obviously I wanted somebody who had a little bit of experience, and the girl who does, she worked in pharmaceuticals for about 10 years. So she has a little bit of experience and how to handle like raw ingredients and products. For upfront, we have a huge college town, so we do have a few college girls, and we actually have 2 interviews, one today, one tomorrow. We need another one.
Good for you.
And we obviously make sure that the person's values are similar to the company's, make sure they're passionate about the makeup and just clean living. And that's kind of what we're looking for. As a leadership or as a leader, I'm still always learning.
Yes.
Like, I actually just met with somebody yesterday that kind of a mentor and coach, and kind of pushed me a little bit out of my comfort zones and some goals that we set. And so just reaching out to others and like asking for help when you are like for questions.
Sure, absolutely.
Afraid to ask. I think that's, if I had to leave one advice, it would be not to be afraid to ask for help, or just period. I mean, asking that lady to park. When I went to City Hall, they didn't know how to license me. Like, how do we license? What do we do to you? What permits do you go by? Because none of them knew what Airstream was. I walked around with my Google image.
Yes.
Was Airstream, and I want to park it there.
I love it. I just love your hustle, which is, I totally get you 100%. Listen, Irina, this has been so amazing. Kudos to your team. Shout out to Mary, who put us together. And I'm just so grateful for your time. Again, one more time, give us your full name, Irina, and the website. I know it's With Simplicity, but feel free to take a few minutes and promote that a bit.
So it's Irina Dovganetskiy. Our website is withsimplicityllc.com. You could still find us on Etsy, but our main channel is withsimplicityllc.com. And if you're lucky enough to be in Harrisonburg, stop by and say hello.
I love it. And listen, if you're looking for a model to model any of your, I'm not going to wear ladies' makeup, but any of your lip balm and stuff like that, I'll give you a discount. Like, I'm sure you're looking for Denzel Washington or Tyler Perry. Listen, so.
We'll have to talk offline and get some products in your hands.
But if you're looking for, Mary's looking for, we need a model on Instagram. I'll be there for Mary. But
Mary, did you hear that?
But thank you so much, Irina. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ramon Ray, smarthustle.com. For interviews like this, check out smarthustle.com. Sign up at smarthustle.com/subscribe.